come to order. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody have a chance to look at the agenda? Motion on the agenda. What was the motion? Second. Rex, all in favor? Aye. All unanimous. Okay, the minutes for September and the 30th meetings, got a chance to look over those. Got a motion from Omar.
Second.
Rex is second, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Unanimous. Okay, Regent Edwards will, obviously, there's a few, but, I know they had a big delegation meeting today with the county, and that's out of that all day. Probably got put in the back burner. But he had talked to us about the Thursday, about his estimation on what the cost would be to do the water billing and all the administrative accounting and records, and walk us through the trends and budgets for the year. And we'll get that on the agenda for tonight to make a decision on that. I know you weren't here on the 30th, but you guys, do y'all feel that the information we give you were enough for us to make a decision, or do you want to hold until it gets kind of back? I was going to proceed with put on the differences in costs and all that. I was trying to see if you want to go through that first and then kind of make a decision on the go.
Well, I'm pretty happy with what we have, and I would still like to have a written estimate.
Right. Okay. So the cost factors that we looked at in the package for years in the past, current and past, vary from, the current was like 16 something, was partial year something big, another one 20,000, the one prior was 30 something thousand, and the recommended amount, using everything saying they'll do this for is around 14,000 a year. It's to me, that's a no-brainer. It's going to be something that we're going to pass down through the town, no matter who's in the office. They don't have to deal with the upset or the changeover of this office because the hands changed. We've got someone that's regulated, they want to control it, and they will manage it that way and have to answer to their boss why something's not done. Quite honestly, we don't know where to call someone out in this office. We don't know that. That sets us up for future growth there in that area. And the budget-wise, yes, they pay the people a lot of money, but they're only going to be doing it 2 hours at a time and $1.5, so it makes it more feasible for them to do it for us. Which of course, that would still leave us to doing the permitting processes. If we would do our grant stuff, we would do the clerk's position would be reduced down to probably, I'm guessing, 2 4-hour days a week, and may not even be that. And that way, during those times, we work on the grant things, the minutes for the meetings, follow up with those kinds of things, and for public request forms, which really hasn't been a while, maybe unless there's someone's, we don't really get much of them anymore. So it's, all of that's slowing down for us. So
actually, yeah.
It's only slowing down because we're getting past the trend and millage and
Oh, yeah.
all that.
Right, but the trim and the budget and stuff would be, each of those would take care of 90% of that for us, based on, of course, it's presented, we gotta look at it, we gotta decide, do that kinds of stuff, just like we do normal. We still gotta do the elections stuff, seats, the elections, qualifications, and things when the election. So, there's still a process to be done there. And there's details there, just, at least certain times of year, it may take 12 hours that week, the rest of it, 6 or 8, that kind of thing. So, if you want to wait, get Vic's notes, try to see if we can get him here next month for the presentation and the written proposal.
Yeah.
And, then we'll just table this until then, and, if that's, everybody's okay with that?
I think that would be best. I mean, I absolutely agree that outsourcing this is the way to go.
I agree with it, but I think we need to, even though I feel 100% about it, we should do the proper steps.
Yes.
We could, in here, just take that here and get this done in that hand. All right, so we're gonna table that, so the beach whatever thing will be tabled until next month, and then the clerk stuff will be tabled. And the, okay, so we got old business, discussion of the building. We had talked about the building permits, planning and zoning packet. We had kind of give us all a look at what, reference what the county had done, and what went there. That's really a pretty basic as it can get. It can't be much less than that. We might have a page on there for stuff that's miscellaneous stuff that is, that may not even require a permit, just needs to be looked at and determined, a $50 fee or something, maybe. That's just, so it's not, so someone has to pay $150 to find out they don't need a permit. So that was, I don't see that in here, but that. It was, I can't remember what it was. I think it was $50 for something, and 100 for.
We had a list, if you look at our resolutions from 05/07/09, it's there, those certain fees are in there.
Right, then this was something I submitted, it was generated out for the town.
I don't remember seeing anything.
Because we made like 10 copies and left them in there for all this, but anyways, this one we talked about, showed the building county. We can pull up the county website, look at theirs, and mimic what the county did.
I would suggest we take a good look at what Lee County is, they have, it's.
I found their packet that they sent of their permits, but I didn't find anything else for that.
Okay, well, it was, basically it was $100 for, I think it was, can we take a minute so we can find the things? We'll talk to the numbers, we've got the correct numbers. Because we've talked about this 3 or 4 times, it's time for us to get some decisions. I don't want to keep passing this on that. But when she's trying to get that part, that's the basic for planning and zoning, is what that's
And
about.
this is the only thing that I saw that came in, was I didn't see any other sheets.
This is there. Can someone pull up the Levy County Planning and Zoning webpage? And you'll see, let's pull the page and look at that.
Are we looking for the fees?
For planning and zoning, yes. catch up what this is before I start passing on and talk about it.
Yeah, specific permit fees for each specific permit.
Right, and this is a minimum fee for a building plan review, so that's for actually the process of permits. That's what this page is about, it's not about the planning and zoning. Planning and zoning would be something that affected us, we would have to go through that to determine, does it gotta go through zone changes or classification changes or what? From commercial to residential or and what that would be, and also if there would be other variances would be required to do what they wanted to do. That's what that schedule we're trying to work with. I had one at the house, but I didn't bring it. I thought we had one here for sure, because we've looked at them here and talked about them numerous of times. So I don't know why.
What is the question? The question is what their fee is?
We were trying to establish fees for our
$125 for the initial, $70 per trip thereafter.
Say that again?
It's $125 for the initial permit fee and $70 for any trip thereafter that they have to come out for inspections and such.
I've never seen that in there.
It's right here, permit inspection fee.
That's on the minimum fee.
Yes.
Minimum for county. That's,
But then again, for manufactured mobile home move-on permits, it's $790 for residential, so I mean, their whole
Yeah.
fee structure is,
right.
I mean, there's a whole basis for everything.
It's done on
Yeah,
that. and
you're
it's-
correct, 125
What,
plus 67 cents per mile travel, plus.
and then we got, our cost on an inspection is, $150. A review's $150. And these are minimum fees by the hour. So, we have to accommodate what
Different
those
sections.
fees and our cost of our permit fees. We have to charge them in advance.
So we have our inspector charges, we have to make sure that the per fees cover his expenses.
That's correct.
We're not losing money.
That's all I can find, is that you'll have to give me I'm gonna have to do some more research on exactly
There was
what
10 sets of copies made, they were over there on that table up there of this planning and zoning stuff.
Yeah.
We made 10 copies of it, and I modified and changed the names to the town of Otter Creek, so when I presented it to the board. All right. Okay, so that's not it.
Yeah, that's not for sure.
It's levycounty.org /392/fees.
Okay. Is that for the planning and development?
Yep.
And you're saying what now?
levycounty.org /392/fees is the website.
Okay. All right, so obviously I'm gonna get a decision on that tonight, and, the permitting fees were on the table list we talked about. But this schedule that we've got here is, obviously, let's sit down in a workshop and go through all these numbers. It's maybe, as long as the inspector comes and sits down with us, we gotta pay him to come down, so he can do all these things as well. Paying him $150 an hour plus his travel time as well. So, we're, trying to talk with him and try to figure out a little bit more accuracy on that, so we can make a decision on that. All right, so we're gonna table all the permitting and the, planning and zoning at this point, let's, everybody agrees? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so let's talk about the seats for the, council 5 seats in the positions. We want to add seat changes to the ballots. We want to try to see if we can do a 4-year term instead of a 2-year term, and number all the seats 1 through 5. And of course, one of them will be the mayor, be directly elected by the people, not appointed by the chair.
That's what you're looking for.
Yes, this is, Levy County, this word verbatim of what Levy County has on theirs. Accessory dwellings is $200 for planning and zoning to get approved. Attachments for $150, accessory structures are $100, commercial fees may vary, and that was the basics for the planning and zoning. And,
You want to go ahead and read it down?
yeah. All right, so we tabled it already, so we're gonna hold off on it. Here's a copy of it. Try to set that fee rate so that when we have something to start a process for, people are asking us to do something or open a business or do some changes or modifications, that gives us some basis to start with.
Would we need to do a resolution for that? Okay.
That's, if we're talking about bringing this back in November, I will use this to draft a resolution and get rid of the other fees we've adopted in previous resolutions.
There we go. That will be good. Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So let's take it next month, and we'll get an actual resolution drafted correctly for our town. All right, so going back to the seats, the reason, the benefit of doing the 4 years versus the 2 years is it gets gives you a chance to finish the projects that you're working on and get started on your inventory, take them to completion. 2 years, these projects are taking 2 to 3 years to get completed, and some are longer. And the seats change over, and the opinions change about where they go, and the directions of the project gets modified, and things get lost there. So that's one of the reasons. The second reason is it costs the town about $5,000 a year for an election. By the time you do all the stuff and all the processing, this will change it to every 2 years doing an election, so it will save the town the budget every other year. That budget just goes away. That cost goes away. And it makes it to the 4-year terms. The seats are numbered, we number separately, so which is what most all systems are done out there. But this town used to be done that way. And it got changed somewhere in the past to where the council chose the mayor versus the people choosing the mayor. So does anybody have any input on this or questions on this?
So we just need to, once you guys decide, we need to let Tammy know to put it on the ballot as a referendum.
Well, I'll have some work to do and
Yeah.
send it to her, but
That's what it would be. This would go for election. We would have to go in April, if we can get on the ballot, and the people of the town will vote and decide whether to do this or not to do this. It's not, we don't make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
We just made the decision to put it on the ballot and let the people make that decision. So it's a cost saver. It's a benefit for the seat, when a person's in the seat, to complete the projects that they're working on. And it cuts out I want this guy to be my mayor, not that guy to be my mayor. Coming in and selecting areas. There's a lot of, it'll stop all the, what's the word, trying to manipulate the election to determine who's going to get the mayorship, basically. We'll stop that.
To a point.
I can tell you, as someone who came in here, and there's no training program for council members, that is something that I'd like to see us change. But it does take time to get to know this job.
It does.
And 2 years, I mean, right now, the election was in April,
Yeah.
and we're in October, and it feels like we've got nothing done, because, for whatever reasons, and there's just so much that needs to be done. I don't think 2 years is enough. I mean, personally, I think that, changing people every 2 years is just, it doesn't give the town and the people the experience that the people need.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? You want a motion or vote to do that?
Would you, can I ask a couple clarifying questions, just if you guys go forward? So obviously at this point, you have 4 seats filled, one I'm not sure about, but with the election that's in 26, it sounds like you would envision not all 5 seats up at once, you would do something to start a rotation where there's every 2 years?
Correct, it has to be, we'll do the 2 and the 3, it has to be done that way.
Okay.
And then we would have to do,
With it being like that, no, I don't think we should choose a 3 or 5 seat.
I think you have to
You
just
have
to keep track of it. I mean, I think when you're talking about, these seats are up, this year and these term,
right,
that's been the problem historically in the past, if you ask me, is that when we have a vacancy, when we have, we don't know who's up in odd years, even years. I mean, we have 1-year terms, we have 2-year terms, they're supposed to be staggered. And so I think you need that just for clarification.
so just for instance, the 1 through 3 would be the 3-year seats, and the 4 and 5 would be the odd year seats. All of the 4-year seats, let me rephrase that, I'm sorry. They're all of the 4-year seats. And to get to that 4 years, I think we'll have to have, and I don't know how this would work, I'm just presuming that this election will come up, if it got voted through, that those seats would take a 4-year term.
I think so. I mean, I'm just trying to relate it to other things that I've done, and I think that's the idea. If you started with some in 26, you'd have a 4-year term, they'd go to 30. And then somewhere along the way, you would have an election, I would assume, in 28 to elect the remainder of your seats, basically like a that would be a presidential year, so this would be a midterm year, but then that would carry to 2032, and then keep the cycle going.
Right, just for that, just, my understanding,
Sure.
So that means that seat, even though you ran for your seat, you got it, and you got, and the town votes for it and agrees, that automatically goes to 4 years. And then in 28, so that means, well, I guess it does, it just means that the other seats will automatically go to the 3 years.
That's it,
To
just,
make it
you've got to start
to make it
somewhere to get on the
balance.
cycle.
So I got you, I understand that. And that saves money and a lot of time. We spend a lot of time getting ready for elections, and it takes ties the clerk stuff up and everybody else. It's just massive. Saves the time, money, and it gives us time for the seats to get better acquainted in the job. And should we put titles on those numbers, or is it just a number?
I think it's just a number, yeah.
Okay. And then so the mayor would be seat 1.
Could be, I mean, if that,
And then will we do a separate, so the vice mayor would be voting as vice mayor, or would they come in as a pair?
Years ago, the town elected our mayor and our vice mayor, and it got taken away from a few people.
Right,
And it was then elected to the board
right.
to select those seats. Now, most municipalities, even though you have a 4-year term, you're not mayor for 4 years. You're only mayor for 2 years, and then it switches. You go back to be a council for your following 2 years, and somebody else is voted in as the mayor. Just like now, you have a 2-year term, but you're only elected mayor for 1 year. And then as.
Right, that's currently now, but that's because of the way the board's set up.
But even, are we going to keep it as the same term?
No, the seats are 4-year seats. If the mayor's voted in as the mayor's got a 4-year seat as mayor. The vice mayor gets a 4-year seat as vice mayor. And the other chairperson's seats that they carry, they got their seat for 4 years. And it's not going to be jumping back and forth and who manipulates to get that control. The people vote that in, and we're gonna carry that vote through. That's the way I see it, the way I feel it should be done.
Okay, so we're gonna put the mayor elector back into the public and let the public select who wants their
That's
mayor to
correct.
be.
That's why I'm talking about the numbers of the seats. We got list one as a mayor, and two as vice mayor, and obviously those two run on the same cycle. And,
So it would be at large with those individuals expressly running for the seats that are designated mayor and vice mayor.
correct. And that's what I was meaning by the other three seats. Do we want to put, we don't, not big enough to call it a district.
Exactly.
So,
At large.
okay, so the other three would be 3, 4, and 5 seat. And the third seat would be the same as the mayor and vice mayor. And the 4 and 5 would be the offset year.
So, now, as we're discussing this, so we know which way to go when we do our ordinance to change this. Now, say we have Rex, Bobby decides to leave and we've got a 4-year term. When the board elects the person to come in and take their seat, are we now going to have it where if you decide to bring someone from a letter of interest, replace that seat, does that person now get to say the term of that seat? Or are we gonna have another election?
That would go until the next election.
For that seat.
For that seat. So that seat, when once it's filled or refilled, it takes the same term as the original.
Okay, that's good.
And then and how we appoint those persons would probably be similar to what is done now, I'm guessing, because otherwise you've got to wait 2 years to get back into that. Everybody,
What about a scenario where you were saying have the mayor and the vice mayor on the same cycle?
on the same side.
On the same cycle. Well, what if some of the council members decided to run for mayor? So they would give up their seat to run for mayor.
That's fine. But that,
So they would have to, that would throw the rotation, it wouldn't, because you'd still
Right,
need
the
the
mayor
letter of
cycles.
interest to
Right.
fill that vacant seat. Okay.
the mayor cycle will stay the same cycle no matter who's in it. And when that 4 years comes up, and whoever wants to run for it will run for it.
Right.
And then now, I know that between the county and the towns, you have to step down from your seat to run for the county seat. Would that apply to this? I mean, you wouldn't have to step down from your seat. Well, I guess you kind of would. If you're gonna drop your seat to run for mayor seat,
Yeah, you can't run for mayor
Yeah,
and remain as
And
a
if you
council
don't get
member.
it, your option is to wait 2 years to, presumably, to
Right.
run the next election.
okay, which would be to get your seat back, not because the mayor seat would still be on 4 years. Okay, everybody understand that? Everybody agree? Good questions, boss.
Yeah, and
Oh, well, here was the thing, when I ran, I got my dates mixed up, but there was a thing I was supposed to do for Tammy to get in that would have kept me in seat here, up until the night of the county election.
Okay.
Then after that, had I made it, of course, resign, or if I hadn't made it, I still would have had to resign.
Okay.
But it was up until the election.
All right, so those are details, we
Yeah,
got time, those are
yeah.
details we got time to work out,
Yeah,
because we got until April to get this on the ballot, and then, once we've got it on the ballot, then that's when we actually sit down and do these changes, because now we actually have an official step to take, correct?
yeah, I mean, what I envision is I'll bring you guys a draft of what, we literally lay out everything. We lay out the questions that will be on the ballot. And literally, when you guys agree on them and approve them, that's how it goes to the supervisor election. She doesn't make it up, she doesn't make changes, she doesn't do that. So I will bring a draft to November, and hopefully we can talk about it and tweak whatever we need to tweak and finalize, I would say by December at the latest, and then, she'll have it from January through April.
She'll probably appreciate that.
I would think so. But I think the goal is obviously to start early and discuss it and get it as final as we can get it, so.
All right, so we got a motion to do this, put this on ballot.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Okay. All right, I'm going to kind of set this guy aside because of region. All right, so we're going down to, there is no new business at this time, administration. Well, we just talked a lot about stuff, there's really nothing new on that. Oh, there is something new on that. Well, it's not new, it's kind of old. We did get all of our trim stuff turned in and finalized and accepted by the state, and it's all been documented, so.
Yes, and, the county finished their part, and I finished ours.
Oh, great. That is so good.
And, the lady in Tallahassee was ecstatic.
Yeah, she was doing a jig.
Yeah. Okay, so that's administration, maintenance wise, it's been kind of slow, the maintenance happening, a little bit of mowing.
Just typical.
Yeah.
Richard, have you found your did you ever find your keys?
No.
I'm so sorry.
You tie a bone to them, so the TD will find it for you. TD will follow you around and grab it.
I did find a keychain, just the ring on it, but I was thinking to a lawnmower on 3rd Street.
Okay.
About a week ago, just like that.
Public safety, everything.
Nothing that I've heard.
Building and zoning, we kind of talked about that already. Water. We are in the process for our permit to be back from DEP. I was kind of hoping today to have a checklist stated they finalized their review, but we didn't get that as of today. So they are by the time, state, date, when things are turned in, you stay in that line. They don't, just because yours is really a simple deal, we just need to be able to do it. You gotta go through all these people, and we're next. So I'm thinking if she's got us on her desk today, if not, she'll have it tomorrow. I'll reach out again tomorrow and see if we can get that. We applied for a waiver on the permit fee, which I think is $250, but they will waive it because of our status of the town. Once the review is complete, it's generally make the payment and the permit's issued the next day. So the appeal for the waiver might take an extra day or two. But I hope we have an answer by the end of the week from them on both items. And then we can get that water plant put together. Put it back. Everything's there waiting. Everything's there waiting. All right, so you want to read the announcements?
The children's table will be in Otter Creek on 10/24 and 11/2. Waukesha Water and Wastewater meeting will be held on Wednesday, November 17th at 1 p.m. at 660 East Hathaway Avenue in Bronson.
Anybody have any public comments? Nothing there? Okay. Anybody, you guys, anything from you guys? And I guess we'll adjourn.
Where does the children's table go? It's mentioned in here, but I don't.
They come right here in front of the
They
town.
come.
No, they go up to Lena's store
Oh, okay, okay.
every other Friday.
Two different things. I want to make sure when I told somebody that I tell them the right thing.
Okay, so they're going to
Yeah,
Otter
it's,
Creek Post.
you bring your own box, it's $10, they fill up your box, you pay the lady, they push it down, they fill it up, you take your box with.
Thank you.
Okay. Meeting adjourned. Ready? Adjourned.
Cheers, we need cheers. You need cheers so bad.
Absolutely.